Okay, y'all, it's time. Let's take her outside. I got her on a piece of parchment paper and one of my stone pans. And my probe. This one came with the Pit Boss. I don't think it's going to fit there, but let's try. Actually, it did fit there. Okay, let's get our probe in there. Okay, so I've got the probe in there. It's hooked in, and remember, with barbecuing, you want to cook to temp, not time. Okay, so there is the fat that I trimmed off. And we're going to close the lid. And we wait. Have got to be kidding me. Rain. I checked the weather, y'all. Checked it. There was no rain in the forecast. Okay, y'all, so these are the end pieces. I just seasoned them up with the same things I put on the brisket with the addition of a little onion powder. And I'm going to pop these in the fridge until a little closer to the end of the cooking of the brisket. Okay, so she's safe on the back porch now. And earlier when I said 350, I actually meant to do it at 250. So we're good. I think we're good. I'm gonna see how this goes. There's the cooler. I got it ready. Y'all, look, this is how we had to block the dogs off, because I mean, they have shelter from the rain, but I didn't want them to back up against this or smell the meat and be attracted to it and get hurt. Like, I mean, it's safety for the animals. Okay, it might be some hillbilly plywood shit going on over here. That the dogs are safe, the brisket is safe. Crisis averted. Okay, so the internal temperature of the brisket is 165. Let's open it up and see if we got. Okay, so I'm gonna pull it out and put it in a foil boat. Okay, so I got the foil boat under the brisket. Put those ends that I trimmed off earlier. And I poured some of the beef tallow on those, as well as that, as you can see. Temp is still set at 250. We got the probe back in. Internal temp on the brisket is 150. So close this back up. Once the internal temperature of the brisket is where it needs to be, we'll do a full wrap, put it back in, and then leave it alone until tomorrow. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Okay, it's time to pull this off and do a full wrap. Temp of the brisket is 183, which is actually a little more than I wanted it to go. Okay, so I don't have butcher paper. I'm using parchment. White parchment paper. I know it looks like wax paper, but it is actually parchment. Try to get this over here. I am definitely going to get some heat resistant gloves ASAP. The bad part is, y'all, I looked at them. Looked right at them at Walmart and didn't get them. These fingers ain't heat resistant. Hold on. Let's try it this way. This parchment paper is not as wide as butcher paper, so I'm just going to do the best I can with it. In case you're wondering, my Christmas presents look just as nice. Okay, so I'm going to hit these ends with a little baby rays. And I'm going to cover them and put them back on the grill. Let's smoke it. Stay in here. Brisket will stay in here till in the morning. I'll probably pull these off in about an hour. Let's close this lid. Okay. I'm going to check this again in an hour because that temp, the brisket is, I think 202 is the resting temp, so we'll check it again in a few minutes. I'm going to be resting the brisket in a cooler. I'm not going to heat the cooler because it's been outside all day and it's been hot outside, so I don't feel the need to do the whole boil the water thing to heat the cooler itself. Probe is showing that the brisket is at temperature. It's actually a little over. Check to see if this is what they call probe tender. Actually, I'm just going to use this one. Okay, so there's a 5-degree difference now in temperature of the smoker because I had the lid open. And I moved the probe. As you can see now, the temp of the brisket is 186. Okay, we're at temp now on the smoker. So I'm just going to leave it in there. She ain't ready yet. I thought she was, but no. Internal temp on the brisket was reading a little over 200 where I had the probe, so I moved it and the temperature dropped. And I did the probe test and it wasn't going in without some resistance. Didn't have that room temp butter feel that you're supposed to be looking for. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I've got to get some sleep. So what I've done is, I don't think the brisket is ready to pull and rest. So I dropped the temperature of the smoker down to 200 and I'm going to bed. And I'll check it when I get up. I'll probably take a nap tomorrow. All right. Okay, y'all. It is around 9 o'clock. And internal temp of the brisket is 174. I'm going to pull the burnt ends. That's something I'll do later. I definitely should have took these out this morning before I went to bed. They're overcooked. We're going to call this dog jerky. So there's that. Okay, so the brisket has been at the correct temperature for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. And show you, I have got my cooler ready. Just lined it with the towel. I'm going to put the brisket in there and then wrap it. And I'm going to let this rest for a bit. Smoker is turned off. The fans will still run for a few minutes after you've shut it off. It's just going through the cooling down process is all. Smoker is turned off. The fans will still run for a few minutes after you've shut it off. It's just going through the cooling down process is all. Brisket's been resting in the cooler for about 4 hours. Smells good, looks good. Let's get it cut and see how it tastes. Okay, on your brisket you will see like a little divot. That's where you're going to want to cut just straight across. And this is going to be your flat. This is going to be your point. Once you have your two sides separated, you're going to want to cut your flat side in thin slices straight across. Then on your point, you're going to cut the slices a little thicker. You're going to turn it and cut against the grain. I'm just going to use my Pampered Chef bread knife to do this. Again, like I said, there's the little divot where the two muscles meet. I'm just going to cut that straight across. Now, oh yes. The lighting in here sucks. Oh my God, y'all, look at that. Okay, so this is the point. I'm gonna set that there for a minute. This is the flat side. Like I said, we're gonna cut it straight across. And I feel like this is gonna be like a Kendall Jenner moment. If you know, you know. I'm just trying to get it to where you guys can see it. Let me move the camera around. Hold on. Okay, that's better. It seems really tender. This as far as the bark goes, I think the next time, let that warm a little longer. Now, let's see. Apparently, this is supposed to. Watch me drop it. Okay, well, it's not bending how some of them do. And you're supposed to be able to just. Oh yeah, it's pulling apart pretty easily. Oh, yeah. Let's go in for a taste test. I ain't gonna lie. Pure transparency. I cooked the hell out of this brisket, y'all. It's good. It's good. Mm-hmm. No. Like I said, for this, you're supposed to cut it the opposite way that you did the flat. Side a little thicker. Oh, pull that apart. Pretty easily. The only thing I think I'll do different the next time, like I said, is let the bark form a little longer. So more time between the aluminum boat that I made and the full wrap to let the crust form a little, the bark get a little harder. And I'll probably let it rest longer. I feel like even though this tastes good, it is, you know, I wouldn't call it dry, but I do think had I let it rest a little longer, I probably would have gotten just a little more moisture, especially on the flat side. But all in all, I think for my first brisket, I think I did okay. And also there's something in that spice. I mean, it's got to be the pepper that is like really spicy. So I think I'll try a different spice next time. Because I'm wanting like a little, it's like I'm missing the saltiness that I was expecting from the garlic salt. It's not there, so. And my husband's probably gonna say the same thing, but I still think he's gonna like it. Thanks for watching, y'all. Remember, be nice, be quiet. Love you, bye.